Welcome to our program, Astronomy for Everyone. For this month's show, we've traveled out to Metamora, Michigan, and we're on the grounds of the D-Bar-A Scout Ranch. Not long ago, the Michigan Crossroads Council, Boy Scouts of America, constructed an observatory so that the Scouts would be able to study the wonders of the night sky. But what's really unique about this facility is that it can be used by Scouts of any level of ability. Let's head down and take a look at this amazing facility. We're down here at the D-Bar-A Scout Ranch Observatory, and with me are my special guests. To my far right, Bob Berta. To my immediate right, John Lines. To my left, I have Dave Morosky, and to my far left, I have Sid Keeler. These gentlemen are very important parts of this observatory and the program here. I'm going to speak first with Bob Berta, one of the Scout Masters. Bob, can you tell me just a quick bit about the Scout involvement?
Yes, this observatory is a part of the learning process for merit badges that all the Scouts go through. This came to be as a result of a meeting between Sid Keeler and myself about 4 years ago, and came up with a brainstorm of trying to come up with an observatory here, and with the input of the Scouts through Sid's Foundation for Handicapped Scouts and also the various astronomy clubs in the area, we now have a terrific observatory. I consider it probably the best observatory in the world in any Scout facility.
Well, that's good. Well, to my immediate left right here is the camp ranger, Dave Morosky. And Dave, your involvement with the observatory?
Yeah, I work closely with this guy. His name's Sid Keeler, and he was the money man. In other words, he raised all the money for this project. Not only is it an observatory, but it's a nature trail, complete for handicap, and it has different stations along the way. But anyhow, it was Sid's idea on this whole project, and like I say, he raised the money in excess of $100,000. My job was to help him build it, okay? And we had tons of help through volunteers, scouters, OA. We even had the CBs help us build and construct this building. And it was a 6-year-long project when we started, and it's a tremendous accomplishment here at the ranch, and it's extremely popular. Thanks for everything you've done.
All right, so Sid raised the money and you spent it, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way it worked. All right, well, that sounds like a pretty good plan. Before we get over to Sid, I did want to talk with the gentleman to my right, John Lines, from the Seven Ponds Astronomy Club, which is out here in this area in Metamora and very close to the D-Bar-A Scout Ranch Observatory. John, what's the involvement with the Seven Ponds Club?
Well, Don, the fact that we are very close, we're only just a few miles from D-Bar-A. And when I got involved with Bob and Sid, when they started this project, I kind of made a commitment on behalf of our astronomy club to assist out here. Once it was up and running, to provide, manpower or whatever, as sessions come up, with the Scouts or other people, public or whatever. So we will help out as much as we can.
So there are programs that go on here at the observatory that the Seven Ponds helps facilitate.
Yes, we haven't probably participated as much as we wanted to, but it's still our intent is there, and being as part of some of the other astronomy clubs, our schedules get kind of busy, so we try to fill in and, when we can, and we will, going forward, we still intend to do that.
All right, well, that's a really great thing to have the involvement of the amateur community. I know the Ford Club that I'm a member of helps operate the Hector J. Robinson Observatory down at the Lincoln Park schools, and the Warren Club that Bob Bird is a member of is also very involved with outreach programs as well. And now I want to talk to the fellow that helped spark the whole idea of coming out here to let folks know about this wonderful facility is Sid Keeler. Now, Sid, I understand that you've been working with the disabled Scouts for a long time.
Not very long, 53 years. Started in 1960, working with handicapped children and scouting, and out here at camp we have any place from 150, 250 handicapped children out a year to up to as far as 1,000, I imagine. We've had blind, every physical handicap, mentally impaired, and everything our foundation does must be handicap accessible. And so we started this trail and put this big fishing pier out here, and somebody said, let's use it and look at the stars, and the kids just love it. And it is handicap accessible. It's available to any group that's handicapped.
Okay, this would be for any scout group, I assume, or do you open it up to the general public?
General public,
General-
yeah.
general
This
public.
is not just for scouts, it's for everybody to use, okay?
Well, that's great. I didn't realize that it was open to the general public. Your foundation, Sid, has been raising money for projects such as this. Are there other projects that you've worked on?
We've built the Disabilities Nature Trail. I have a web page, just Outdoor Opportunity Fund, and you can find it. And it'll tell you the different things the foundation has done. We've worked with Special Olympics, Hemophilia Association, Spinal Bifida, many, many different organizations. So it isn't only the scouts that we work with, but any organization. It's a small foundation, but we try and help if we have the funds.
All right. Well, Bob, with your scouts that are out here, this is a summer camp week. I assume that, well, in spite of the weather here, which is quite cloudy today, the boys are very involved. I understand that the Girl Scouts are also involved with the observatory here at DBAR.
Yes, that's a lot of people think in terms of scouts being Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, but this is for everybody, including Girl Scouts, Brownies, and everybody else can come out here. And we do have Brownies, Girl Scouts come out here, the whole troops, and we run them through this. They love it. And one thing we're going to talk about later is some of the things that we do to inspire these kids.
Very important to for the inspiration part of it to generate children's interest in things like astronomy and science, and of course then it goes to the whole STEM curriculum that is so very important today, of course, science, technology, engineering, and math. Well, I think we've had a pretty good conversation here with the principals involved in making this facility happen. Again, there were a lot of other people that helped with hammers and saws and everything else to make this facility a reality. And if you would like to send us an email if you have a particular question about this facility, you could send it to us. You can see that down at the bottom of your screen. And Sid, I wanted to give you the opportunity to let folks know how to contact you with your foundation.
If you just type in Outdoor Opportunity Fund, you can find our web page, but our web page is odofund.org.
All right, well, please follow up and check that out if you will. And coming up next is Term of the Month, so don't go away.
The term of the month for September 2013 is outreach. Outreach is what this show is about. It turns out to be my favorite thing to do in astronomy. This is quite a surprise to me. The DBAR Observatory was built entirely for outreach. There isn't anybody trying to do scientific work with the observatory, although it is good enough to do that. There isn't some club that is going to monopolize the observatory, for their own enjoyment. That's not what it's about. The entire purpose is to teach the community. In the case of DBAR, it's mostly the Boy Scouts, but hopefully other people will get to use it as well. So the idea in outreach for astronomy is teaching and spreading the word about how great it is to look up in the sky and what you can see and all of that sort of stuff. So the term of the month for September 2013 is outreach.
For this part of the show, I'm going to be talking with Bob Berta, and he's going to explain to us, give us a quick rundown on the setup of the telescope that we have here in the observatory at the D-Bar-A Scout Ranch. Bob, can you tell our viewers about this instrument?
Yes, the observatory itself is in a 12-foot by 16-foot building, and the roof rolls back. It's called a roll-off roof observatory, opening it up to the sky. The telescope itself is a 14-inch Celestron HD Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. The thing we have special on this is that the pier itself is a electrically driven pier that actually allows the scope to go up and down so that you can bring it down to children in wheelchairs, raise it up for tall kids, bring it down for short tiger cubs. The scope itself is all computerized, so once you align it with a couple 3 stars, it then knows where everything is and finds them for you.
Great. And this particular scope, as you mentioned, is a Schmidt-Cassegrain and by Celestron, a wonderful instrument. I also noticed you've got the Telrad finder up on the top to help locate those particular objects. Now, with us here in the observatory for the moment, we have 4 scouts that have some special recognition. Bob, can you talk to each one of these boys?
Yes. In the Boy Scout program, you can go for merit badges, and there is a astronomy merit badge. And some of these children, in fact, all 4 of them have their astronomy merit badges, which is quite an accomplishment. It's not easy to get. The first one is my son, Brian. Brian has got the merit badge, and he's also a member of 3 astronomy clubs. Brian, after you joined the club, and I know you've got a few other kids that are also in the club here, why are they in the club now with you?
Well, the main reason is because I asked them if they could come because it's a really fun club because you should come because there's a lot of things to do here, so I thought they would enjoy it.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Brian is actually sort of our, I guess, our shill, you might say, to get more people into our club. So as the children, the scouts get their merit badges, he tries to get them to join our club. And these other kids also do. The first one is Joey Lico. So Joey, can you step forward a little bit? Joey, tell us a little bit why you joined the club.
Well, it was all started when it was actually a camp out back in 2012 in January, where we were actually here at D-Bar-A, and there was like an observing session here at this specific telescope, and that's when I really started getting into astronomy, and ever since that, I've really liked astronomy, and I know when Brian was trying getting me into the club, and I thought that was really interested, so it's one of the reasons I joined. It was one of the telescope was one of the reasons.
Okay, thank you, Joey. Mark Bologna back here is another member of the club. He was the 3rd member of the Boy Scout troop to join. And Mark, why did you join the club? And what do you like about the observatory here?
Well, the observatory is really nice. The telescope is amazing, and you can see stars, planets, pretty much everything with it. I joined the club because I was at a Boy Scout meeting for our troop, and Joey Lico told me about the club, and at first I didn't really have to do anything with astronomy, but then he showed me. I went to a meeting as a guest, and I saw through all the telescopes, and it was just incredible. It was a great moment, and I just joined the club, and ever since I've had such a fun time with it. It's really neat to be part of an astronomy club.
Okay, thank you. And the last member we're going to interview is Cody. Cody is actually the newest member of our astronomy club, who came from the Scouts, but he actually was in the astronomy club before the other kids were, because his parents are in the astronomy club. Joy was in another troop, and he switched over to this troop because we have a lot of astronomy scouts in our club. So he's one of 5 scouts in our astronomy club now. So, Cody, tell us what you like about the club and what you like about the observatory.
Well, I personally have never looked through the telescope, and I've really wanted to, but I really think that the telescope is one of the best telescopes, that they're is, and I really think it's really cool that handicapped people can see the stars. And the club is a really awesome club. You do a lot of things. It's really fun.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, we had the opportunity to talk with a few of the scouts who actually have their merit badges. Next up, we're going to talk with a few more of the scouts who are out here at D-Bar A Scout Ranch to get their input on why they think that this is such an interesting facility.
Now that you've seen a tour of the facility, and pretty remarkable, we wanted to also show you some scouts here that are working on their merit badges. In scouting, you don't just get the merit badge and that's it. You have to work at it. And there's quite a bit of things you have to do to get it. And so we're going to talk to a few of the scouts here that are working on one. Here is Ryan. Ryan, what are you doing on astronomy to work towards your merit badge?
Well, I have a few of the requirements done, but I'm not finished completely yet. So I'm working on it, and I hope to get it soon.
Okay. Have you ever considered joining an astronomy club after you get it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Terrific. Okay, our next is Patrick, and Patrick is actually a very gung-ho scout. He accomplishes a lot of things, and I believe you're working on your merit badge too, right?
Yes, I am. I believe that astronomy gives you the experience to look at the final frontier, and so far I'm working on my merit badge, and I'm getting really close to finishing it.
That's pretty terrific. And you know, astronomy, as we say, this facility is designed to provide opportunities for looking at the skies for everybody, no matter what their abilities are. And Danny over here is a fellow who we can provide those opportunities to.
Bob, about how long does it take a scout to earn his astronomy merit badge from start to begin? I know it can vary on the scout and how strong they work on trying to get it, but typically how long does it take, do you think?
Actually, it's not a race, as you said. Astronomy is something you want to savor and enjoy. And somebody who's really hardcore into it, you could do it in a relatively short amount of time. There are requirements that require you to, you know, study a period of time. For instance, multiple days to study the phases of the moon, observe, make an observing session, write that down. But on the other hand, it's not a race, and so you could actually take, you know, a couple of years, 3 years if you wanted to. There's no time limit to when you can accomplish that.
All right, thanks, Bob. This has been a great experience for myself to come out here and for the Astronomy for Everyone team to be able to make everyone aware of the work that the Boy Scouts of America is doing to bring astronomy and science and hopefully the other parts of the STEM curriculum as well to help stimulate our future leaders and business people and everyday citizens to be more scientific literate and just to be able to enjoy the beauty of the night sky. As we like to say on Astronomy for Everyone, it is the best free show in the universe. We hope you've enjoyed this program out here at the D-Bar A Scout Ranch, just outside of Metamora. I want to thank all of my guests who have been with me here today. And if you'd like to get more information, you can visit our website. You can see it down there at the bottom of your screen. And coming up next is What's Up? So stay tuned.
What's up in the night sky for September 2013? We're going to start with the moons. The new moon, the month starts out with a new moon on the 5th of September. On the 12th, the first quarter is visible from about noon to midnight. On the 19th, the full moon is visible all night long from sunset to sunrise. And then on the 26th, the third quarter moon is visible from about midnight to noon. Sunrise for the month is roughly 7 a.m., and it sets at 8 p.m. Venus sets at around 8 p.m., and Saturn, just above it, sets at about 9 p.m., so we're losing Saturn this month. Venus is very bright. You can see it even well before the sky gets very dark. Uranus and Neptune are, they rise at 8 p.m. and 7 p.m. respectively. Uranus is in the constellation Pisces, and Neptune is in the constellation Aquarius. You'll need a good finder chart and a telescope to see Neptune. You'll need a good finder chart and at least binoculars to find Uranus, and you're better off with a telescope, in my opinion. I have seen Uranus with just my glasses. Now, if you look up, straight up, in the middle of September at about 9 p.m., you will see the constellation Cygnus, which is sometimes called the Northern Cross, but Cygnus is named for the swan. There is a bright star, Deneb, which is, in this picture, is at the left side there. That is the top of the cross, or the tail of the swan. The swan is heading to the right. Now you can see on the top of the image Vega, and toward the right of the image Altair. These three stars make the summer triangle, and Cygnus is sort of inside the summer triangle in a sort of a weird way. Deneb, again at the tail of the swan, is really quite bright, but it's very unusual. It's 3,200 light years away. That's really quite far for the stars that you can see in the night sky. And that means that Deneb, the star itself, is monstrously bright. It's like more than 10,000 times brighter than the sun. The constellation Cygnus has actually quite a few interesting objects in it, but I'm just going to name a couple. Alberio, which is at the bottom of the cross, or the head of the bird, is a double star. And for Michigan fans, it's a blue star and a gold star together. So those are kind of Michigan colors for you sports fans. This can be split easily in a very small telescope, possibly fairly high-power binoculars. Also in Cygnus is an absolutely huge nebula. This is called the Veil Nebula. NGC 6960. It has some other NGC numbers, but this will get you there. This is a supernova remnant, a star that blew up about 5,000 years ago. The gas and dust is now 50 light years across. You can see this with a telescope with an oxygen 3 filter, so you'll need an 8 or 10 inch telescope for that. In any skies, or in dark skies, you can see it with a smaller telescope, and the oxygen 3 filter really helps a lot. So that's what's up in the night sky for September 2013. Keep looking up. It's the greatest free show above your head.